All right, let's talk about your first mission. Mission 1 is to map the AP galaxy. So if we are going to take on MC22, we need to get across this first galaxy, and to do so, we need a map. So your task is to create a text grid or map for the passage assigned to your group. Your map should follow the trajectory of the text with an actual path drawn out. You can use a video, artwork, PowerPoint, or whatever tool you prefer to describe the movement in the text. So essentially what we're doing is we're going to create a map of the tone in a passage. So this image right here is a basic description of what we're looking for. So you create a grid with an x-axis and a y-axis. The y-axis is going from more positive to more negative at the bottom, and each of these little rocket ships is a paragraph in my text. So why are we doing this? When we are looking at a text for multiple choice particularly, it's important to figure out which parts of it have a more positive feel, a more negative feel, for a few reasons. First, it helps us identify author's tone, which the questions are often about, and in rhetorical analysis you can analyze the use of tone and tonal shift. But then when we're looking at the options for a multiple choice question, sometimes if we know that paragraph is really positive, we can eliminate half of the options right away. So it's a really good multiple choice strategy, and we're going to use it to practice really finding that movement in the text. Okay, so the visual I have on the screen right now is the basic of what it will look like, but let me close this quickly and let's go through the actual presentation. So as you can see, my line moves up and down as we're going through the text, and every time it goes down, it means that section of the text is more negative. Every time it goes up, that means it's more positive. Then if I click, if I click on one of these, it'll give a little description of how I thought it was somewhat positive, somewhat negative, and then where I saw that in the passage. So example for paragraph 3, it says it's somewhat positive, and then my explanation says, in this paragraph, she's talking about her father and how he was her biggest supporter. This compliment to her father shows a positive feeling. What I do then is throughout my presentation, let me go back to the overview here. Each one of these little dots is talking about the paragraph, whether it's somewhat positive, somewhat negative, neutral, things like that, and then why I saw that in the text. So to do this, let's look at the kind of steps we need to take. Let's give it a second to load. In your group mission assignment, it tells you the task that I already laid out for you, but step 1 is to begin by reading your text carefully for tone. When is it more positive? When is it more negative? Annotate your passage with evidence to support your determination. There is an example of my annotation that goes with the sample text map that is in that folder. So take a look at that, see how I marked it up. What I did is I just read the passage first to get a feel for it, and then I kind of labeled each paragraph by if I thought it was very positive, somewhat positive, neutral, somewhat negative, or very negative, and then went to find the evidence that goes with it. So step 1, annotate the text looking for those positive, negative moments. Step 2 is to create the grid. So that's when I was in Prezi and I created my x-axis and my y-axis. Remember, y-axis is where we go from that very positive to very negative. X-axis is the separation of each paragraph. Finally, you create a combination of all of this and create a map that creatively displays that trajectory. So mine is a Prezi. I would say it's pretty basic. When we look at the scoring, the presenting information part would definitely be proficient at best. There's nothing fancy about it, but you can create videos, you can create posters, anything that kind of visualizes that roadmap across the galaxy.